Hi, this is Drogi, and with the new Pokémon Snap for Nintendo Switch on its way, I decided to make a video on the Nintendo 64 version, which, if you didn't know, I used to play a lot. And today I want to tell you what do speedrunners of Pokémon Snap do to save time. I used to compete for high scores and also compete for the speedrun world record. Oh my god. Let's go. Let's go. World record by 17 seconds. You might think, high score leaderboards make sense, but how do you speedrun this game? Well, to finish the game you take a picture of Mew. Timing ends when the game is saved right after. It starts when we submit our name, which should be one letter because we lose a frame for every additional letter every time O calls us by our name. So my name is D. Now, so the Snap speedrun consists of 5 key elements required for a runner to save time on a playthrough. Those are optimal 0-1 card movement, leaving stages early, good scoring, good menuing, and, at least at the very top level, you also require good RNG. Put in a scientific model created by scientist Dr. Ogi, it looks kind of like this, but I want to break it down for you. So now, let's start with the card movement. This game is an auto-scroller. That doesn't mean you cannot go fast in the 0-1 vehicle. People soon figured out that you go much faster if you look forward instead of backward. That is not all though. You can conserve speed by locking the camera. So you want to press C up to look forward, lock the camera, and you're free to look around the polygon landscape without losing speed anymore. The speed is not all that gets stored by camera lock. It also stores the card's angle. So let's say you want to go to the left of the track to get a better picture of Haunter. To avoid having to look left and losing too much speed, we lock the camera slightly left to the center to move towards the edge slowly and leave the camera lock looking forward, instantly locking it again to go back at maximum speed. Speed and angle conversation isn't everything though. There are 2 more aspects to general movement. Avoid C button presses. They slow down the card a lot. They are used for some high score strats where you want to slow the 0-1 down, and they also cause headache. So when we want to center the camera with C up, we always do it in camera lock, so we don't lose time. And what you might realize soon when watching a Snap speedrun, what dominates the run are lag reductions. We try to display as little as possible on screen so the console doesn't get too overwhelmed, which saves us lag frames. So we basically always look at the ground or at the sky, making the run seem a bit boring at times, but let me show you it isn't, as I'm about to explain how we save time leaving stages early. So in order to progress in this game, you want to unlock stages and items such as the apple-shaped Pokémon food, also known as Pokémon food in the shape of an apple. For simplicity, I will just call them apples from now on. Okay, so to unlock the second stage, Tunnel, we need pictures of 6 different Pokémon. We get that on our first beach visit. To unlock apples though, we need to leave Tunnel with 24,000 points. We used to trigger the electrode riding Pikachu and leave the stage right after to reach those 24k, but then our picture setups got better and better in beach. In fact, we optimized beach so much, for example by taking a picture of Pikachu in this exact angle, that we can just enter Tunnel and take a picture of the electrode after 1.5 seconds because that's when it counts double, and then leave the stage saving several seconds. Another way how we optimize beach points. For the tutorial section at the very start of the game, your camera is locked. You want to take 3 pictures of 3 Pidgeys at the start. By accident, Japanese runner Kodo found out one day that you can take a well-timed second picture of the second Pidgey right here. This doesn't seem intended because now we can move the camera early, head over here and take a better picture of the Pidgey. This gave us the last push to consistently reach 24,000 points out of Tunnel 1. But how else could we optimize our points to an absolutely maxed out level? Well, let me explain you how points work in this game. Well, Professor Oak, or Dr. Okido, rates our pictures in Oak's check. Oak doesn't look at a picture and actually realizes it's a sick picture. He analyzes them like a robot, only looking 1. if the Pokemon that's closest to the center has good size, 2. determine its pose, and every Pokemon has different poses programmed, and 3. if the Pokemon is in the center of the screen. Last aspect we call friend points. You get bonus points for Pokemon of the same kind in the background of the picture. Now let's see how we apply this to speedruns. Earlier generation speedrunners of this game used to just take a picture of Jigglypuff, not thinking too much about it. But then we realized throwing an apple at it increases its pose points by 450 points, which gives us a bonus of 900 points. Or we realized Magneton, who has stopped in front of an apple facing the camera, gives us his best pose, while Magnemite has to be chasing the apple, facing the camera, but not having reached the apple. This is a bit complicated, but it gets even more complicated when we take a look at how we can unlock the volcano stage quick. You might remember that you trigger it by hitting this electrode with an apple. But we also need good Magnemite and Magneton pictures, so here's how it works. We throw an apple here to get the front Magnemite a bit closer, throw another one in the back to get the 2 Magnemites in the back a bit closer together, throw another one here, move to the side, and now we want to lure this Magnemite closer to us and take a picture while it's chasing the apple but hasn't reached it yet. We throw another one in the back, take a picture right before it turns around. Now we can trigger the cutscene as soon as possible, get the 3 Magnemites together, throw another apple so that Magneton reaches it right before the cutscene starts, and here's the picture. This whole section takes an insane amount of practice to get down and to save as much time as possible. But we need all points possible, you'll see why later. But first, we haven't really talked about the menuing yet. We match through texts by alternating B and A, ending with a B so we don't repeat the dialogues, which is kind of tricky. The menuing in the photo selection screen isn't too thrilling. We select the good pictures, move on and select the next one as quickly as possible. But to get the perfect order, we need a specific set of pictures in each stage. Meaning if we just get one shot wrong, our whole selection path will be messed up. Or in worst case, you get additional pages that cause some lag. So we're in Volcano now, and we want to leave it with 72,370 points, and for that we need good Magmar and Charmander and Charmeleon pictures. So to do that we want to lure Charmander to the very edge, take a picture of him eating an apple, of Magmar attacking him, throw another apple, camera lock forward and take a picture of the freshly spawned Charmeleon as it reached the apple. So now, to get enough points we used to wait for Moltres to turn around and pose for the camera before we leave the stage, but nowadays we sacrifice a lot of points to save a few seconds by taking a picture of Moltres right as it spawns. So we're about to enter River, but to proceed we need the Pester Balls. We get them by leaving River while taking an empty picture which, in Oak's check, reveals a picture of Poliwag behind the bush, usually giving us around 130 points. That is why we needed 72,370 points leaving Volcano, so that with the 130 points from the Poliwag, we reach 72,500 to unlock the Pester Balls. So entering River with our new Pester Balls, we want to collect as many points as possible again, such as by taking a picture of Psyduck right as it's hit by an apple. And now as we spawn the next stage, we hope for a Cloyster to spawn, which is RNG based. If we get one, we're good to enter Cave, where the hardest trick of the game awaits us, the Weepinbell Snipe. So at the end of the cave, it makes sense to try and hit this Weepinbell as early as possible, taking a picture of it and its evolution Victory Bell, so we can leave the stage as early as possible with 30 different Pokemon pictures, the requirement to unlock Valley, the last stage. But just aimlessly trying to hit it early is not good enough for us, we want to push the game to its limits. Eventually Arcmytoes came up with a setup to snipe the Weepinbell from far away. However, the setup is insanely hard to pull off and doesn't even work with every single Weepinbell RNG pattern, so a huge amount of runs die to this trick. And even if you manage to perform the trick successfully, you're not done yet. What's gonna happen right after the snipe is, we aim right, shoot an apple at Jigglypuff, look forward again, take a picture of the Weepinbell we just hit, look left, take a picture of Jigglypuff and coughing, and look forward again, take a picture of Victorybell and leave the stage. Too fast? Watch for yourself. By the way, you want to hit the first coughing of the stage with an apple and time it quite well, so that this Jigglypuff and coughing right here spawn in the perfect moment so you can get good pictures of them. So obviously Weepinbell Snipe loses a ton of points over getting a bit closer and taking good pictures of Weepinbell and Victorybell. However, we need 130,000 points entering Valley. If we do not reach those, we have to take pictures of Pokemon in Valley. So let's say we're lacking 11,000 points. We need to take pictures of Sandslash, Gyarados and Dragonite, which gives us a total of 12k. If we're lacking 6,000 points, we leave out Gyarados, and so on. Point is, the less points we have, the more pictures we need to take, and every picture loses a few seconds in the menu on an Oaks check. So Weepinbell took a lot of points from us, thus we needed to come up with better strats, which we did. Here are 3 examples on how we optimize points. 1. Kangaskhan has a weird characteristic where when we take an almost pixel perfect picture at this very moment, Oak will double the score, so we get an extra 390 points. Up next, the Diglett Sacrifize. So you might know that Dugtrio spawns once you take 3 pictures of Diglett. Eventually we found out that those Diglets work with consistent cycles, and this cycle right here is the best. We sacrifice a few points because the Diglett picture is a bit further away, but that is not too bad, as it allows us to take a better picture of Dugtrio with some bonus points that make up for the worst picture of Diglett. And for Slowpoke, we used to lure him to the fishing spot. Take a picture of him fishing, throw an apple right here. Camera lock forward, take a picture of Shelter on the tail and a picture of Slowbro who reached the apple. And what we do nowadays is this is footage from Gunlab's N64 world record. He throws apples to lure the first Slowpoke to the fishing zone. He uses some quite precise visual cues for the apple throws, and there's the second throw for the second Slowpoke. Picture of Shelter, great lag reduction, picture of Slowbro, and now Gunlab knows exactly when to look back down to take a picture of Slowpoke like this, giving us perfect size and pose points. So apart from that, we basically just spent hours testing every Pokemon, finding their perfect poses and also improving their size points. Improving the size points? How did we do that? Well, for that we need to talk about the square head theory. So when playing and also talking to some of the best high score hunters in the world, we eventually came to a conclusion on how we can increase size points. We figured that the further away from the center a Pokemon is, the more points we get. As long as the Pokemon is still in the center, of course. I came up with the idea of calling this phenomenon the square head theory. A link to the original paper on the square head theory can be found in the description below. The theory works as follows. The camera, or the protagonist Todd's head, is shaped like a square, so the more you turn it, the closer you get to the Pokemon, and the more points you get. We use this on our Lapras picture that only works like that, or we squish some points out of the Moltres picture. The square head theory established itself in both the speedrunning and the high score hunting communities and proved useful numerous times. Now let's return to the run. We have unlocked the last regular stage, Valley, with 130,000 points, which we call a zero pick Valley. But there's one more crazy hard trick to do in this run. So while it's safe as chill time, we take a picture of the Dugtrio sign and then we just lock the camera and lag reduce till the very end. You know how you can unlock the next section of the game by first hitting this Squirtle with a Pester Ball, which then kicks the Mankey off the hill, which you shoot onto the switch with another Pester Ball. To leave the stage as early as possible though, we want to hit Mankey as early as possible, using the so-called Mankey Snipe. So here is where it gets stressful again. There are a few really precise setups for us to aim at the perfect spot and time the Pester Ball shot so that we snipe Mankey over the mountain. Pulling it off in a run saves about 4 to 5 seconds, which is essential for a top time. Now we unlock the dash engine and we can finally submit Pokemon signs. We submit the Dugtrio sign we've already taken, so we don't have to re-enter Valley. So all we need to do is enter all the remaining stages, take quick pictures of the signs and leave them again. For some stages it's as simple as boosting and getting a frame perfect Pestoball shot into the volcano. For Tunnel however, we first need to skip Electabuzz and Electrode with a precise skip, and now it gets even harder. So we never want to lay off the dash, so we have to aim perfectly between the door and Zubat and time an apple throw perfectly to make Pikachu run as early as possible. Another apple for safety, and around here is where we start playing the flute to make Pikachu rage. And what this does is, without letting go of the boost, we spawn Zapdos. Some drums are added to the music, but most importantly, the Pokemon sign of Pinsir spawns. And with the Kingler Pokemon sign in Beach, we are done. We unlock the last stage of the game, Rainbow Cloud. All we need to do to finish the game now is take a picture of Mew. Once we hit his bubble the required 6th time, using our good reactions and a lot of experience with how the hitbox of Mew works, Mew spawns and we take an uncentered picture. Uncentered? Why? Because when Oak doesn't double the score, we save 5 additional frames. Because we skip one line of text where he's like, wow, and it's centered even. And once the picture is submitted, we are done with the any percent speedrun of Pokémon Snap. So that was a brief summary of what we Pokémon Snap speedrunners do. By the way, I forgot to mention, the Japanese version saves time over the US release because it skips Oak's iconic "Wonderful", which saves some more frames on every Oak check. Now, if we take a look at the diagram again, you see how I tried to cover all these aspects in a comprehensive way. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments please, and if you want to watch my personal best for Pokémon Snap, check out the links in the description, and you might want to check out the leaderboard for the current world records, mostly held by Quo. The link can also be found in the description below. This is Drogi. Thank you for watching. Make sure to follow my social media to stay updated on future content. And in case you liked this video, I am also Super Mario 64 speedrunner, so check out my video on what Super Mario 64 speedrunners do, or check out my playlist with interesting Nintendo 64 content. Special thanks to these people and the Pokémon Snap community as a whole for helping me with this video. And now I wish all of you a very nice day and see ya!